Hello guys, let's begin. I will start from Regulating Act of 1773. We saw the Charter Act in which it was demanded and the permission was granted to establish the mayor's courts in three presidencies which the Britishers were having under their control at that time. Now we will come on to the second one, that is Regulating Act of 1773. Judicial functions of East India Company expanded substantially after its victory in Battle of Plassey. Now you may have studied these in history, and so Battle of Plassey took place in 1757. Now it's your homework to find out who the other party in this battle was. Okay, means one party is East India Company, but who it fought against, so that you have to find out, and little bit information surrounding this battle that you find out, and it will be helpful for you. So judicial functions, it expanded, means more and more jurisdiction the East India Company got after it won the Battle of Plassey. Battle established company rule in Bengal, which expanded over much of India for next 100 years. So after this, not only the judicial functions expanded, but also the company's rule, the company's establishment in India and in Bengal, that also expanded with due course of time. After this, real authority of Nawabs of Bengal passed on to the British. So you see, because they had won it, obviously as it happened in earlier times, if two people are fighting, then the person who wins the war or the fight, he gets that territory for which they were fighting. Like if a person, a king of presidency A is fighting with king of presidency B. So what will happen if this person A wins? Then he will be getting the territory of person B, because now he is the winner. So his authority will grow as greater in power, as greater in comparison to the person B, and he will be ruling over this territory also. Okay, so same happened when Britishers won this Battle of Plassey. After that, their authority grew, and real authority of Nawabs of Bengal. Now, Nawabs of Bengal became subordinate, and their all power also got transferred onto the hands of Britishers. In 1765, Robert Clive secured in perpetuity for East India Company Diwani of Bengal, Bihar, Odisha from Mughal Emperor Shah Alam, who was still considered to be the ruler of country, against a payment of rupees 26 lakhs. Now this payment of, actually it was known as pension, that Britishers took over the control of the territory. They were the real masters, but the king was only the nominal head, means by name only he was supposed to be the head or the master or the king of that territory, but in actual all the authority, all the power was with the hands of East India Company or the Britishers. So they were by fact they were the rulers, but by name the person or the king was only the ruler. So, and in exchange of that, he was giving a pension, and that pension is given as rupees 26 lakhs, which was given to Emperor Shah Alam. He was considered to be the ruler, but in actual power and authority was with the East India Company, and under that the officer whose name was Robert Clive. So he got the power of Diwani of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. By this grant, company claimed to have become the virtual sovereign and master of this territory. As I told you, company became the sovereign and master. At that time, the Nawab, who was the Subedar of Bengal, represented the Mughal emperor. So, this Shah Alam, Emperor Shah Alam, or the Nawab or the Subedar of Bengal, he was a sort of representative of the Mughal emperor. While exercising his authority, Nawab performed two main functions: Diwani, that is collection of revenue and civil justice, and Nizamat, that is military power and criminal justice. So Nawab was, you can say, like we had a court and various courtiers were there. So we have an office in which one is the boss and the other are his employees, and all the employees are given some specific purposes or some specific work to perform, and in exchange of that obviously they get certain amount of money as a payment or as a reward for doing the job correctly. So the same thing happened. This Nawab was a representative or an officer, you can say, of the Mughal emperor, who represented the Mughal emperor, and his duties were to collect revenue, that is taxes, and to provide justice among the civilians, and also to hold military power, means army, and to grant criminal justice, means in criminal matters, to administer the criminal matters, to decide upon them, and to give justice, to give punishment, or all sort of that thing, because he is also having the control of army. So he may, like, if you have murdered somebody, now I will murder you and that will be your punishment. Earlier this was to be done generally, मौत के बदले मौत, क्योंकि उस समय ऐसा कुछ रूल नहीं था. याद रखो, जो आईपीसी है हमारी क्रिमिनल रूल बुक, वो भी 1860 में लिखी गई थी, और ये बात है 1773, यहाँ पर जो बोला था 1765 के अराउंड की. तो इस समय ये रूल बुक नहीं बनी थी, तो कुछ रूल्स नहीं थे कि अगर उसने चोरी करी तो उसको ये पनिशमेंट देनी है. हमारे पास कुछ ऐसा कॉन्क्रीट रूल बुक नहीं थी जिस पर हम रिलाई कर पाते कि अगर ये ऑफेंस हुआ है तो हमें इस ऑफेंस के साथ किस तरीके से डील करना है, वो बताने के लिए हमारे पास कोई भी बेसिक या कॉन्क्रीट रूल बुक नहीं थी उस समय. इसीलिए जो मन में आता था, जो राजा होते थे वही सुप्रीम होते थे, और वो जो चाहते थे वो करते थे, या वो जैसा ऑर्डर देते थे, दैट वाज टू बी डन बाय द people, by the public. So Nizamat, that is, he had the power of military or army, and so if there is an offense or any such ill which is committed in the society, तो उसको किस तरीके से डील करना है, वो काम भी नवाब का था. East India Company obtained दीवानी राइट्स फ्रॉम मुगल एम्परर एंड नवाब गेव इट निजामत वर्क. तो यहाँ क्या हुआ, दीवानी राइट्स को ब्रिटिश कंपनी को, मतलब ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी को दे दिए गए दीवानी राइट्स, दैट यू विल बी कलेक्टिंग द टैक्सेस. तो जो पैसा वाला बात थी वो ब्रिटिशर्स ने बहुत ही चालाकी से अपने पास ले ली, दैट वी विल बी कलेक्टिंग द टैक्सेस, नाउ इट विल बी अंडर आवर कंट्रोल, कि हमें कितना टैक्स किससे लेना है और किस रेट पर अगर हमें अगले साल या अगले महीने बढ़ाना हुआ तो वो सब चीज़ें हमारे पास होंगी, क्योंकि बिकॉज ना द होल अथॉरिटी ऑफ गेटिंग टैक्सेस इज़ विद अस. तो हम डिसाइड करेंगे कि हमें किस तरीके का टैक्स और कितना हमें लेना है. और नवाब को क्या काम दिया गया, आर्मी का, दैट इज़ द निजामत वर्क. However, administration of criminal justice was left with Nawab, who was responsible for maintaining law and order. So criminal justice, to grant punishment for the offences, that was also left with the Nawab, and he was responsible that peace, harmony and law and order proper system is maintained in the society. ज़्यादा offences ना हो, for which he also had the control of military under him. Despite its success in Bengal, East India Company was debt-ridden at that time and had to pay significant sums of money to British government to maintain monopoly rights in India. Monopoly means to control. So Bengal administration was going efficiently. They had got the control of a larger portion of India till that time. Their rule had expanded to various other territories as well. But then too, they were debt-ridden, and at that time they had to pay huge sums of money to the British government so that they may get the permission to continue their control or the rights or the authority that the British East India Company was having at that time, to continue the authority that was granted to them by the British government or by the British king or queen of that time टू रूल ओवर इंडिया. तो अपने रूल को, अपने कंट्रोल या अपने मोनोपली राइट्स को कंटिन्यू करने के लिए उनको कुछ पैसे देने थे ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट के लिए. ज़्यादातर ये होता है ना, दैट यू प्रूव दैट यू आर कॉम्पिटेंट इनफ टू सर्वाइव, टू रूल. आप आप में ये कैपेबिलिटी है कि आप उस जगह को रूल कर पाओ, इसको साबित करो। साबित कैसे करो? हमें इतना पैसा भेजो। तो इसीलिए इन्होंने दीवानी राइट्स मुगल एम्परर से लिए ताकि वो अपने हिसाब से टैक्सेस कलेक्ट कर सकें, और उन टैक्सेस से उनको कुछ ना कुछ हेल्प मिलेगी पैसे पहुंचाने में ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट को, ताकि वो अपनी बात साबित कर सके दैट वी आर कॉम्पिटेंट इनफ कि हम इस एरिया को अच्छे से कंट्रोल कर पा रहे हैं। एंड टू कंटिन्यू देयर अथॉरिटी इन इंडिया दे हैड टू गिव सम अमाउंट ऑफ मनी, और उनके पास उतना पैसा नहीं था, दे वर डेब्ट रिटन, दैट्स व्हाई दे raised taxes then and how. Affairs of company were poorly managed and natives were unhappy. Obviously, Indians weren't happy by the administration and by the method or by the pattern in which the Britishers ruled over us. Even the Tea Act of 1773, which triggered the American War of Independence, was designed to rescue the near bankrupt company and to generate money from the colonies. Now you see another act we have, that is the Tea Act of the same year 1773, due to which American War of Independence took place. And this act was also basically brought with the agenda so that we could collect money from the colonies and that money could be sent to the British government. Again, you know why they need to send it. In 1773, Lord North, the then Prime Minister of England, decided to introduce some form of legal government to manage the Indian possessions of East India Company. Now, because they were debt ridden, they weren't able to manage or not to collect the money that they need to send to the British government. So now in 1773, Lord North, who was the then Prime Minister of the country, he decided that now he will be introducing some system or some form of government that will control or that will that will monitor that how the East India Company is working, okay, and to manage that how they are possessing, that all now need to be managed by a separate form of legal government, which was decided by Lord North. As East India Company acquired formal political power over substantial areas in eastern India, British Parliament grew more concerned about need to regulate its activities. Now, as I told you, they expanded, they got control of even more territories than before, but then too they were debt ridden. They weren't able to manage the money that they needed to send to the British government of that time. So even if their control was expanded to more parts of India, then too the British Parliament was concerned that how brutally or how inefficiently the governance system is going on in the colony of India. In 1773, British Parliament passed the Regulating Act. Regulating Act of 1773 made some important changes in structure of company and appointed a Governor General and 4 councillors at Fort William in Calcutta. If you may have seen any historical serial or so, Fort William at that time was in Calcutta. We will report to Fort William. तो कहाँ पर report करना है? Calcutta में. It's very important information. It may be a part of 1 mark question that may appear in your school exam or in your boards or whatever, or maybe it may come in any competitive exam. Anything can happen. You can't predict, right? So, Regulating Act of 1773, as the Prime Minister of that time, he realized that they needed to frame a form of legal government that will monitor the Indian possessions of East India Company. So now there were various important changes by the Regulating Act of 1773, which was passed. There were various changes in how the company would be arranged, or what would be its membership or structure, and how it will rule. So first of all, the structure changed, in which it was that 1 Governor General and 4 councillors will be appointed, and they will have the duty at Fort William in Calcutta. So you see, you may have heard of various Governor Generals in India. Regulating Act of 1773 is widely considered as first attempt by British Parliament to construct a regular government for India and to intervene in the control of companies' administration. Regulating Act of 1773 also superseded the provisions of 1753 Charter. Now this Regulating Act is widely considered as the British Parliament की पहला step so that they could make a regular and a legal form of government for India, for its colony, and to control, to monitor, or to interfere in how the administration of company was going on before this sort of intervention. उनके इस ब्रूटल और इनएफिशिएंट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन से परेशान आके ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंट ने, उस टाइम के ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट ने एक पहला स्टेप उठाया कि वो एक रेगुलर लीगल फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट को इस्टेब्लिश करेंगे इंडिया के लिए, ताकि वहाँ पर एक अच्छा इमेज बन सके कंपनी की और एक अच्छी तरीके से एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन किया जा सके। क्योंकि यहाँ पर जिस तरीके से ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी डील कर रही थी या नेटिव्स खुश नहीं थे, वो जिस तरीके से ब्रूटली रूल कर रही थी, उन सब इमेजेस को थोड़ा साफ करने के लिए, थोड़ा इमेज अपनी सुधारने के लिए इट ब्रॉट अबाउट few changes, and those few changes were by the Regulating Act of 1773. I hope things are getting clear. Now, one homework that you need to do now is you need to find out who was the first Governor General of India and the last Governor General of India. Or you can say the first Governor General of independent India. Okay, just find out these. You can Google it if you don't know. That's the best and easiest thing that people of this generation do. Okay, so now I will start from here in the next video.